Alrighty, see how this goes. Just about speeched out, truthfully, so happy to be done this one. Thank you very much for the warm reception, and quick congratulations to everyone else receiving an award tonight, the Life members, the Best and Fairest winners, but it's a big privilege to be here. The Life membership's a huge honour, so firstly for that, but also, as Gorney touched on, it's a big honour to be able to address everyone here tonight. To a group of people who mean so much to me, so it really does mean a lot. So thank you to the organisers, I guess. Some housekeeping first. I'll apologise in advance. I'm going to try and keep this tier free. My teammates have already heard me blub a few through speeches, so I'm sure they're probably sick of it, but I'm going to try and keep things positive, which is probably going to be easier said than done, but I'll have a go nonetheless. Secondly, there's a table of people here tonight who mean an incredible lot to me, so starting with my fiancée, Danielle, and my parents, Mark and Deborah. Some more of my family, some more of Danielle's family, and my manager, Tom, and his better half, all of whom have been an incredible support for me over the last few months, but also over my entire career, so I'm very thankful to have them here at my last Best and Fairest. So when I thought about what I was going to say tonight, I instantly started reflecting on my time as a player, and it had been a pretty incredible journey. If I look back at those photos of me, videos of me as an 18-year-old kid, we came a long way as a team, but we also saw a fair lot of development for myself personally, so I did think about for a second really going into all that and fleshing that out, but these nights are long enough, so I'm going to spare you all of the boredom and instead prompt your memories at the end of that open letter I wrote somewhere in the end. I set a list of things that I was not going to miss as opposed to things that I was going to miss. In part of that was to have a bit of a laugh. It was a pretty heavy letter and so a bit of levity, but also because I found it pretty hard at the time to predict what exactly those things would be and even articulate them. There's a lot of emotions going around, so I took the easy way out, but I've now got 8 months of hindsight and experience, and I think it's probably a good time tonight to really reflect on those things in particular because I've had an incredibly fortunate career, but it's now been 8 odd months and I've just got a different perspective and a different appreciation for all those things, so I'll get stuck into it. The first thing that I found myself thinking about was the environment and just coming into work every day. Whether it was Casey Fields or Amy Park, I never really took a day for granted. I always just loved coming to the club. Obviously it was amazing to kick a footy around and lift weights and be fit and healthy with your best mates for a job, but I think it goes a little bit deeper than that for me. The environment we created, the staff that we had, was a real honour and a privilege to get to know so many great people, and it was just a really positive growth environment, which is something that I just absolutely loved. That's coaches, administrators, medicos, and everyone in between. There's too many to mention, but it really was a special place for me to come. And I also think I sort of lent into it as well. I was a part of the fledgling social committee for a while. I also did a podcast that some of you might listen to from time to time. And thank you. Despite not being a morning person at all, I even got a little morning extras club off the ground, which was reached its zenith in the grand final year, so draw the conclusions you want there. But I did a little bit here and a little bit there behind the scenes, along with immeasurable contributions from so many people. And I think the result of that is that the environment was I just loved existing within it, and really every single day just loved coming in. So I think as far as workplaces go, football clubs are pretty special places, and that's one thing that I absolutely really find myself missing, is that lack of direction, lack of somewhere to go, lack of somewhere to belong. So that was my first reflection. My second was my teammates. I really miss my teammates, which Gorney alluded to with the once a month sort of stuff. But I always really appreciated coming in and seeing them every day. It was something I'd always pinched myself, and the banter and all that stuff was great, but it was so much more than that as well. I had this dinner group every single week of my AFL career, barring severe illness. I used to go out for dinner with a few of the boys on a Tuesday night, and it became known as the Tuesday Chew group, and that meant a hell of a lot to me. I was also an active participant in the Melbourne Football Club golf scene, and I was the proud owner of the lowest handicap from Jaden Hunt's departure to my eventual retirement, much to the annoyance of some of my other teammates. I also loved giving nicknames out, which, yeah, I don't know, sometimes they had meaning behind them, sometimes they had none at all, but I loved them all the same, and if you'd indulge me, I'd just like to run through some of my favourites really quickly. So the one that really sticks out when I was thinking about it is Blake Howes. So the boys all know, but for those who don't, Blake Howes, nicknamed affectionately Halfway Howes, for reasons unbeknownst to me, went to the golf pro shop, paid his $60, and then after 9 holes decided to leave. And I heard on good authority that he swung by Subway on the way home and picked up a 6-inch. And don't fact check this one, but I'm almost confident that he got subbed off halfway through his first game. So that was one that I really loved. Judd McVie springs to mind. He lived with my mother and father for the better part of 2 years, affectionately known as Knuckle McVie, Judd Knuckle McVie. If you Google Bradshaw, the next teammate of my father's, he used to play at North Melbourne, you'll see a dead spit. It really is quite spooky, and they were both tough little back pockets, so it works on both levels. So that was the sort of stuff I really loved, more than just face value as far as a nickname goes. There's some other ones that have no meaning whatsoever. So Bindy's Fritch goes way back. Bot Sparrow, as in robot Sparrow, and Pez Woden. Absolutely not much in them, but I loved them all the same. And don't get me started on Ed Langdon, because we'll be here for too long. But through away trips, tough pre-season sessions, community camps, and everything else, I really did love it so much more, because I was in amazing company, and that was over the whole 10 years. Incredibly fortunate for my teammates, and as Gorney said, it happens every year when people leave, and I've been on the inside for the last 10 years, but standing here now on the outer, it is really tough, and that mateship and that camaraderie is something that I really do miss every day. So that was my second reflection. And third, I really miss playing football, which I suppose might seem intuitive, but it isn't always the case. I really loved playing the game, and I think that's something that I probably took for granted, because I suppose I thought it would go forever, but obviously not the case. Here I am. The opportunity to play at the MCG every week was genuinely a privilege. I used to go there as a kid and really could still remember those dreams as a young boy, and I got to play there every other week, which is incredible. The feeling just before the game with your teammates, or just after a great win, was addictive. The opportunity to compete with, or as I said, 20 of my best mates was something that was really special. And the support, the Demon Army here tonight, they've had enough pump-ups, but I'll give you another one. The support I felt personally from all of the fans of the Melbourne Football Club was something that I hold very true to my heart. So, that's something I miss. I miss competing, I miss winning, I miss giving it all in the pursuit of a victory. And I also miss the small things too, things that are less intuitive. Just kicking a footy around for no reason, something I haven't done, and I really do miss that. The smell of cut grass at the MCG or some other venues, I don't know, it's a weird smell, but I really do miss that. No grass at my joint. Walking around the oval before a game, we'd sort of congregate in the middle of the grounds we were playing at, and there was a group of us, and you'll know who you are without me naming your names, but I often wondered if I pegged a golf ball up and had my driver, if I could hit it out of the MCG, and we'd Googled the height of the stand and the distance, and just stupid stuff like that. I really find myself missing those moments, and there's another group of us who used to kick barrels from outside 50 pre-game, and half of them would go nowhere near the goals, and we'd just be mucking around. But those simple things that I really enjoyed about the game, I find myself really missing those too. it is hard to put into one short sentence, and I've obviously done a pretty poor job of that then, but I do miss it all, and even to have played one single game, I feel really fortunate. So, I'm so grateful, and I really did love every second of it. But those were my reflections. That's what I've missed the most over the last 8 months, and I then sort of found myself thinking, well, what next? And I found myself thinking and feeling really hopeful. The first hope is for my teammates. I really hope that you guys can stop and smell the roses. I know it's been a really tough year, but you're an incredible group, and I know personally how quickly things can turn around. So, I hope you just stick fat, stick together. Greenie spoke about unity. I think that's spot on, and anything's possible next year. So I really hope that you guys appreciate the fact that you get to live out my dream. Secondly, to the staff that are here tonight, those that aren't, and also to the fans who are and aren't here, I hope you all truly know how big an impact you've had on my life. I, as I said, matured an incredible amount. I grew from a boy into a man, and the impact that you've all had on me is immense, and I'm such a better person for having you all in my life. So I hope you all do know that, and I really do appreciate all of you. Thirdly, I hope for a bit of closure for myself, personally. It's certainly not how I expected things ending. If I had dreamed, this was certainly not it. But, fairy tale finishes are very rare in football and in life, so that's just the hand I've been dealt. But despite that misfortune, I feel incredibly lucky to be standing here before you all tonight. And the ability to thank you all for the best years of my life is something that really means a lot to me. This journey could not have been more special, and although my future remains a bit unclear, I can say with absolute certainty that I'll be a Dean for the rest of my life, and I absolutely love this football club. And finally, and probably the most profound feeling I had, was hope for the Melbourne Football Club. I truly believe that despite everything that's happened this year, that we have so much to be excited about. We have some of the best players in the entire game. Gorney and Track and Clary and Maisie, and I could go on naming them. But we also have some really exciting young players coming through. I was very privileged to watch through the pre-season, which for God knows what reason I completed. Judd McPhee, who I've mentioned, but Taj, I love watching Taj play, Caleb and Colton, and even Disco Turner started kicking bags at the G this year, which is cause for copious optimism. But my outlook for this group is so positive, and as I said, I remember back to 2018 and 2019, and then from 2019 to 2021, things can change so quick, and I'm so positive and optimistic, but also sad that I'm not going to be out there to help, although I will enjoy sitting back in the stands and watching and appreciating the journey and loving watching all my mates and just feeling really proud to be a Melbourne person. I'm really looking forward to that. I can close my eyes, and I do sometimes, and I can picture vividly the MCG on a Friday night, packed with Melbourne players and Melbourne fans, and us playing in and winning big games. And that's a thought that really puts a smile on my face and warms my heart. So that's it. I promised you no tears, and I think I've just snuck through. So thank you all once again for the most amazing journey. It's been a true privilege, and I love the D's. Go D's.
Want to see more from the D's? Then don't forget to subscribe up here.